So hi, I am Michael Story, and I'm going to be answering the questions for my professional education notes, number 4. So the first question is, do you agree with your mentor's assessment of your progress toward the indicators in domain 4? So looking at what my mentor teacher, so in the first, demonstrates initiative and self-reliance. She gave me a 100% met. For demonstrates enthusiasm for teaching. She also gave me 100% met. Demonstrates responsiveness to supervision. I also got 100% met, and adheres to the expectations of the profession, um, attendance, punctuality, dress, attitude, effective communication, including code of ethics and relevant law and policy. I also got 100% met. So I would like to say that I do agree with the way that she evaluated me in my progress report. I felt like I made it uh, a goal or in a matter of importance to make sure that I was displaying, the best, my best foot forward when I was there. Anytime I got to observe her classroom, I took it as a privilege that I was able to, kind of not disrupt her class, but throw off the balance of her class for a couple of hours that I was there. And so I made it very important for myself to make sure that I was doing the things that I needed to be doing. I was there on time because I'm taking time out of her day and her classroom's day by me just being there. So when I say that I was going to be there at a time and leave at a certain time, I was making sure that I was doing those things because I also know that as a future educator, hopefully it is going to be very important that I am able to show up and be on time, not just for my peers, but for my students as well. And so I thought that I was very appreciative of the way that she evaluated me in my progress report in regards to domain 4. From your perspective, what were your strengths as an intern this semester? I think my biggest strength is being able to kind of, from when I was experiencing, being able to take small groups. I had multiple opportunities where I was able to take smaller groups and kind of help them go over certain aspects of the class that they might have been working on, they might have been struggling with. The prime example for me is actually in my last visit. I was able to take a group of 5 and we went to the back of the room and we were talking about counting money, so coins and dollars and stuff like that, because they had a test that they were going to be taking an hour, I think 2 hours after that. And so that was a very fun experience. And I think that I was able to do that pretty well and kind of get them thinking about counting money a little bit differently than they had been because those kids that I was with struggled a little bit or had been struggling. And so we were able to use whiteboards and use fake money and fake, coins and whatnot. And that was a really cool experience. But I also thought that I did that very well. Um, and so that was something that I think that was definitely a strength in regards to my internship. From your perspective, what are areas of improvement? Something that my mentor teacher actually touched on in my progress report is she said that I need to be more assertive. So instead of waiting for somebody to kind of tell me what to do, just be able to go out and help. And I definitely think that's something that I want to improve on as an educator, just in general. Being able to kind of see an area of need and be able to kind of just help in any way that I can, rather than like looking around like, oh, does she need me to help or whatever. I think like there's a lot of times where I might have been able to help a student or answer a question that a student had, and I just kind of didn't because I didn't want to like step on any toes. And I think that something that she mentioned, obviously in the progress report and just in conversation, is just being able to just go out and help if needed. What are you excited about as a future educator? What learning can you apply from your TEL courses in your sophomore year to your future classroom? Honestly, I'm just excited in general to be an educator. I don't know if there's necessarily a specific aspect of it. But I think the whole reason I got into teaching, because I switched majors this year to education. I think the biggest reason, and still just the biggest reason, is I know how important it is to have a good teacher in any level of learning. And so my goal, hopefully, is to teach in the secondary level, so high school, potentially middle school. And I think in those years, you're kind of developing not just as a like academically, but just as a human being, you're developing. And I think in those moments, it's even more important to have teachers that genuinely care and genuinely want you to get better. And so something that I can apply, I mean, there's a lot of things I've learned a lot in my courses this year, just being more, and especially in the terms of being or supporting and promoting like diversity, I think is a big one. Understanding that every student is different and every student has different needs and different strengths and different weaknesses and stuff. And I think it was really cool learning about different ways to learn more about your student and also just support them throughout that process. So I think that that's something I'm very excited to implement once I start, my internship, like my student teaching, and then also just teaching beyond that. I'm very excited to kind of try to build those connections and relationships with my future students and be able to help them and support them in any way because I do think it is very important um, that teachers show that they care because I feel like for me, I've had teachers where I know that they didn't really care. And it made me care less about the topic or care less about school in general. But then if I'm in a class, even if it's a class that I'm not particularly good at, um, if I have a teacher that cares and wants me to do better, like it makes me more engaged and makes me more willing to want to do good. And so I definitely think that I want to be the type of teacher that kind of promotes engagement and is a teacher that a student is going to want to learn for and work hard for. So yeah, so definitely excited for that and very appreciative of this opportunity. Yeah.